Thank you for observing this moment of silence. Today we're doing a special Remembrance Day edition of Paul's Cinematex, where I'm going to talk about a couple of films dealing with the war, mostly World War II, but I can also discuss on World War I as well. Whichever the films are, that's what we'll be discussing. Today the first film we're going to be doing is Dunkirk, which was directed by Christopher Nolan, and Dunkirk was more or less about the British and Allied battle and on the beach of Dunkirk, and the RAF Spitfires were engaging the enemy in the skies above the channel. And it deals with what these soldiers went through during the time of the battle and some of what was going on in between the fighting. And it has an all-star cast. It has Tom Hardy in it. It has Kenneth Branagh. And I don't know if anybody's really heard of Fionn Whitehead, but Mark Rylance is in it. But just the same, it's all well acted, and for a movie about discussing the war, you really get to see some of the war action that's involved in the Battle of Dunkirk. So if you want to look for an authentic film which actually discusses a lot of Dunkirk, then you definitely want to see this one here. Second one here, and Lena Headey is in this, and Joseph Fiennes, but other than that, it's mostly an unknown cast. It's The Red Baron, which is basically, he was the German fighter pilot during World War I that was shot down by Billy Bishop. And this one focuses on the period of 1916 when how Baron von Richthofen actually got to get his infamous reputation and his name, and it tells how he got into the war front and how he became an idol, more or less, and a symbol of hope and pride during the First World War. So yeah, we actually do discuss the First World War here, and it's an independently done film, but I thought it was really, really good because a lot of the flying that they do is top rate. Like, you get this in a lot of the major films, so you get to see it in this movie here too, on The Red Baron. And you get to learn a little bit about who the Red Baron was, what he was like, just before he became who he was, before he became infamous, more or less. But yeah, you get this for just the airplane flying in the fights alone. It's certainly a recommended film, and it won at least 3 awards. Like Real Stuff, Delroy Beach, and Trevor, like these international film fests, and they actually gave this movie a very high regard. Our next movie is called Midway, and it's a remake of a movie with Henry Fonda. Only this one was Roland Emmerich. Midway was the battle that happened after Pearl Harbor, because remember earlier last year we discussed the movie Pearl Harbor. Well, Midway was the battle that took place after. It's more or less the aftermath and the clash between the American fleet and the Japanese fleet, and how America redeems itself after the Pearl Harbor attack. And it was considered a very pivotal point in American war history, like during the Second World War. And you get to see the real life events, you get to see how the soldiers use their instincts and fortitude and bravery, basically to overcome all the odds and to become famous in their own way, like for what they did. And Midway, in a sense, was an even more intense battle than Pearl Harbor was, because Pearl Harbor was the Japanese attack. This one is more or less the American retaliation. Now, if I can ask my sister to pause the movie for a second. Okay. Yes. Now, the movie reason I asked my sister to pause for a second in the video is because I had to get one movie that I really enjoyed about the First World War. And it's probably a very innovative and unique vision of its kind. It was Sam Mendes' film 1917, which was winner of 3 Academy Awards, Best Cinematography. I really thought this movie should have won like a Best Picture award. Even though, like, I mean, at the time I think I voted the Hollywood one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But this one also was really, really intricately done. Like they say, it's a staggering piece of cinema. The way what it is the story is about these 2 young British soldiers. And what they have to do is they're given an assignment to cross the enemy territory and deliver a message which will stop a deadly attack of hundreds of soldiers. And of course, one of the soldiers is one of their brothers that's in amongst them. So yeah, it's a simple story, and what it is like a 1-track camera shot through the whole film. Like the movie doesn't even go to like different. You know how most movies go to different shots, and it goes like from one, and then it just shifts to the next scene, next scene. This is like one continuous shot through the entire film from the very beginning when they go into the journey. So you go with them on this journey to deliver this message. And it was truly one of the most moving and profound pictures I'd seen dealing with the First World War. I thought it was very well done, and I had to get it. But I'm certainly glad that I did, and I hope that if you're in the video area of Walmart or whatever mall you're in, pick up a copy of it. You won't be disappointed. I can't say enough about it because, like, I saw it at the theater. I just thought it was extraordinary, and I'm hoping that if you get this movie too, and I do recommend it, that you'll actually enjoy it yourself. So that was a bit of Paul Westbrook's cinema picks dealing with movies of the First and Second World War. Again, we thank you for observing the moment of silence. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments in the comment section that are just below the video here, and I'll be happy to hear from you. And for now, this is Paul Westbrook reminding you, I'll be seeing you at the movies.